Hello there, this is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? I am just getting over a bit of a bad bit of health. I wasn't able to make videos for a while, so when I'm feeling a little bit better I'll catch up with the results videos and the Champions League results videos, etc. But I got these cards out for my Maps channel to do a video. And I was about to put them away and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun if I did a little game with you guys, just had a nice cozy chat. Because my voice is feeling a little bit weak and I thought this would be a bit easier. So, and also it's a bit more fun, a bit different to what I usually do. What do you think about naming the best player at international level that a country has been able to produce? So if I start saying, and this is an opportunity for you to jump in the comment section and tell me who your favourite is, or why I'm wrong. So we start with France. You know, it's probably going to be Zizou, Zinedine Zidane. I think some of you might say Thierry Henry, but I don't think he did it at international level as well as he did it at club level. Those of you who are my age or even older might say someone else. Platini, but I never got to see him play. I did watch Zizou at his height. I remember watching him for France and for Real Madrid. I didn't have Italian football back then, so I didn't see him for Juve, but yeah, I saw him obviously score that goal in the Champions League final. I was watching it live, and I saw him score the goal against England in the European Championships, that crazy game where France scored twice in like injury time or something, I think, in the group stage. I think he scored either a free kick or a penalty or both, I can't remember. Yeah, he was epic, so that's my pick for France. Uganda, I have no idea, so I'm not going to go there. If you know who's the most famous Ugandan football player? United States, I'm really tempted to say Alexi Lalas, because I'm that old. But I'm probably going to end up saying Pulisic. I think that he hasn't, we'll see at this World Cup, won't we? This might age really poorly if he has a bad World Cup. But if he has a good World Cup, he could genuinely, he is like, when he's fit and in form, he is one of the best players in Serie A. So I'm going to say that Pulisic, because the USA is like way better than it was when I started watching football. I started, one of my first World Cups that I ever saw was the American World Cup back in, was that 90? So it was Italian 90, so it was USA 94. Italian 90 was officially my first World Cup. And then I watched the USA, but of course only Ireland made it to that World Cup, so I was supporting Ireland because Wales didn't make it. Horror story as usual, put up by Romania, missed a penalty in the qualifier, then they ran down the other end and scored, they qualified, but I think they actually got to like the semi-finals or the quarter-finals in the USA, so I don't feel too bad. But England didn't make it either. And back then I was sort of supporting England when they qualified. So yeah, I'm going to say Pulisic. What do you think? Ooh, Kazakhstan. I think, again, it's going to be a more recent player. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of that player that played for CSK in Moscow. Although I do sometimes get Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan mixed up. No, he's Uzbekistani. Oh, there's a young kid that's coming through and they call him like the Kazakh Messi. He had a free kick at the end of the game with Wales a couple of months ago in the qualifiers, and he then scored against Belgium, I think, as well. Whatever his name is, he's probably like the best thing they've ever produced. Australia, there's a couple of candidates for Australia. I think it's probably going to have to be Tim Cahill, particularly for the goals he scored at the tournament as well. That overhead goal, was it against Spain or the Netherlands? I remember that World Cup. Was that the Brazil World Cup? Or the South African? I get them mixed up in my mind. Australia had an absolutely amazing tournament then in that group where Spain went out. So Spain would have won it in South Africa, so they had the curse on them, so they went out in Brazil. So it was Brazil, and I think, was it Paraguay was in that group as well, with the Netherlands and Australia, and Tim Cahill was like on fire. But you could pick maybe Harry Kewell. I can't think, nowadays they don't really have any sort of superstars, they're just very solid. Like their general level has gone up, they don't have to rely. Kind of like Wales, you know, we had like a very low base and then Gareth Bale would drag us through. But now, although we don't have a superstar, arguably, Harry Wilson's pretty amazing, our general level's gone up. And I think it's the same for Australia. I'm thinking they might get out of the group into the knockouts again. I remember them playing so well against Argentina. Like they genuinely could have beaten Argentina, who went on to win the tournament. Had they not had that draw, maybe they would have made it to a quarter or semi-final that year. Honduras, not sure, sorry. Ireland. I think the answer to this is not Roy Keane, because he had issues playing at international level, that World Cup where he got sent home. I think it's Robbie Keane at international level. Similar thing that I was saying about Australia. Actually, Ireland don't really have any superstars at the minute, do they? Arguably, although Troy is sort of getting better, and Evan Ferguson's got so many injuries. They got the potential to have a couple of really good players, but injuries get in the way and game time. Kelleher's a really good goalkeeper as well. But yeah, I think I'm going to say Robbie Keane. That's quite an easy one, really, isn't it? All the goals he scored over the years for them. He was a good servant. Liberia has to be George Weah. The only Liberian I can name, and he won the Ballon d'Or. So I think he's still the only African player to have ever won it. So yeah, it has to be George Weah for Liberia. New Zealand, I think I'm genuinely, I don't know what he's like at international level. I'm sure he's amazing, but it has to be the guy from Nottingham Forest, surely. I'm trying to think about previous players in the past. They have had a couple of decent ones, but when they made it to that World Cup, I think that did they also make it to Brazil? Which is the World Cup where they drew with Italy. Nowadays, of course, you've got Kakache. He's like decent. But yeah, I think it's going to have to be... His name's gone from my mind, hang on. Chris Wood. I had to literally go look for it on FotMob. Chris Wood. I think maybe their best player. Ooh, Montenegro. Ooh. I think there's only one player I can really think of, is the guy who used to play for Man City, and he's played for literally everyone. Stevan Jovetic. Again, I had to just Google that, I'm terrible with names. I can see his face vividly, but yeah, I couldn't think of his name. Stevan Jovetic. He is the most capped player for the Montenegro national football team. 91 caps as of March 2026. Iran. Ali Day comes to mind immediately as someone who's done it at that level. He was he had like over 100 caps or something, didn't he? I'm just going to look up. I just googled him, and actually it says Ali Day is regarded as is the greatest Iranian footballers of all time, as well as one of the greatest footballers from Asia. He is the all-time Asian men's top goal scorer in international football with 108 goals, and he used to play for German Bundesliga Arminia Bielefeld. He also played for Bayern München and Hertha Berlin. So yeah, I think he wins that one. Ooh, Mexico. Ooh. My favourite player for Mexico was Luis Hernandez, who played in the 1998 World Cup a little bit, but he was carrying an injury in the 2002 World Cup. He was one of the top goal scorers in the 98 World Cup. He scored against Germany, the Netherlands, Korea, and Belgium, I think. No, I don't think he scored against Korea. I think he scored 2 against the Netherlands. If not him, then maybe Cuauhtémoc Blanco, or the goalkeeper. Can't think of his name now, the little guy. He was fantastic. Campos, I think his name was Campos. Mexico are a team without a sort of absolute star, although they got that young kid coming through at, let me think of which club he's at, Guadalajara. I think he's tipped to get a big move to Europe at some point. Okay, I'll do a couple more. Not a clue about Cambodia. Portugal, well, let me think. Actually, there is an argument to say Eusebio, not Ronaldo. I think Eusebio probably is the answer, although Ronaldo is hell-bent. Hasn't even said, I think did he say something like, Pele? He didn't say anything about Eusebio, I don't think he'd dare. But I think he said about Pele that, a lot of the matches that Pele played weren't televised, and so how do you know how many goals he scored? It's a bit, he's so, he has to be possibly the most profoundly competitive person ever in any sport, to the point of almost like mental illness, he's so competitive, it's crazy. He's absolutely hell-bent on getting these, 1,000 goals, and being that player, he'll keep going until he does. Yeah, I think, but I never watched Eusebio play, so I'm sure the answer is Eusebio, but for me, Ronaldo is one of the best football players of all time. Although if you ask me, Ronaldo or Messi, I would choose Messi. Tunisia, not a clue really. Maybe, let me have a little look. I just googled most capped Tunisian players and I don't really know any of them. Radi Jaidi, or Youssef Msakni. No, I can't really comment on either of those. I do think that Hannibal is going to be probably one of their best players. He is, he's Premier League standard. But if not him, then whichever that player is, I think it's Ben something. Ben, can't think of his name, but he scored against France in the last World Cup in the group stage when they beat them in the final game, when they rested Mbappe. He might be in that sort of league. Who's on the back? Oh, Jamaica. That's difficult. I can't say. Jamaica have only made it to one World Cup so far, haven't they? So it's difficult to judge that. But yeah, I'm not sure about Jamaica. I'm not going to comment if I'm not sure. Bahamas, not a clue. Canada. Well, historically, because Canada haven't made it to the World Cup very often, it is difficult to say, and so I wonder whether their current crop of players, we're talking, for example, Jonathan David, or Alphonso Davies. Probably Alphonso Davies, really, but then at international level, I don't know. Because they had such a terrible, unfortunately, terrible World Cup in Qatar. They really didn't have the best of groups, did they? And I think their confidence levels as well. I think they're expecting Belgium to be harder than they were, and totally missed Morocco. It did me all. So yeah, I think they're going to do a lot better this time, particularly because their group is quite easy. Obviously, it would have been Wales's group. I think, that they might underestimate Bosnia the way that they missed Morocco. Do that at your peril, when thinking we're going to get Italy and then they get Bosnia. So they probably think, oh, they'll be easy, but no, they won't. Switzerland are going to go really far in the tournament. I don't know when the last time they conceded a goal in qualifying was. Like, they are really, really good. Like, they are like one of the best teams in Europe at the minute. Teams, not individuals, best teams. And they will quite easily beat Qatar, I think. So, yeah, they'll get out of the group, maybe even in third place, but they'll have a better World Cup this time, particularly at home. Japan. Now this is a tricky one because, of course, back in the day there was that player. Well, they've had quite a few. There was the Man United player, of course. I've forgotten everyone's names. Nakashima as well, the free kick. Amazing free kicks. But then I think that their current crop is just so much better, just generally, that if maybe those players wouldn't even get in the squad now, And I do think that at the World Cup, Japan are going to have a very successful tournament. They did really well last time, but I think that Japan are sort of getting up to a sort of European level now. In general, so many of their players play abroad. And picking out an individual, I'm not sure, because no one stands out. Everyone is just such a good level equally. Let me know who you think is the best Japanese player. Is it someone like the guy from Brighton, one of the players in Germany? Maybe it's the Real Sociedad player, Kubo. You tell me. Indonesia. Well, historically I have no idea, but they've got quite a few Dutchies playing for them now, with dual nationality. So we should start to see them qualifying for more things. I watched them at the last Asian Cup, and I think they'll qualify again for that. They've got a much stronger squad than they've ever had. They're probably at their absolute best. So I don't know about individuals, but much what I've said with a couple of the others, Canada, Switzerland, Australia, they've got a very good team nowadays. Okay, I'll do a couple more. Slovakia has to be the ex. What did he play for in Italy? Napoli? I can see his face. Marek Hamšík. I was really surprised. Apparently during like COVID, was it? He went to Sweden for like a couple of months and had a bit of game time there, and then I think he went to maybe Turkey with the really spiky hair, do you remember? He played really well in that European Championship where England and Wales were in the group with that team. He was their absolute star player. I think he's probably odds on their best one. Qatar. Akram Afif, who I always tended to buy in Football Manager games and in PES 20. Really fast, good free kicks, big hair, very recognisable. Yeah, I remember I was doing a Swansea playthrough on PES, and I bought him, and he was like the best player that I had in the championship. Yes, it's got to be Akram Afif for me. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. We've done quite a few. If you want me to continue with this little game and carry on with all the countries, let me know. Also drop me a comment and tell me who you think the best players are, particularly for Japan, because I wasn't sure about them, or Indonesia. All these different countries would be up in the next lot. So do let me know. Well, not them, because they. I'll talk about the individual countries of the UK. And yeah, let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed the video and you'd like to see part 2. Okay, take care everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll get back my voice as soon as possible and get on with these results videos that we're well behind on. Lots of big results to talk about, obviously. You know what I'm thinking. Okay, see you all soon.